Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Whatcha Doin, your favorite Phineas and Ferb rewatch podcast. My name is Felipe, and I am a real boy. And I am not alone. I am joined by someone who would love nothing more than to relax and do nothing and potentially watch grass grow. It is Miss Navi. Navi, welcome back to the podcast. Happy 2024. How are you doing, Queen?
I'm doing well. I work 3 jobs, so that actually sounds so nice right now.
You would be begging Doofenshmirtz to hit you with that ray.
I would.
What's the life update on Navi on this February 4th, 2024? Anything exciting happening in your life in the last few months since we last had you on the pod?
No, I've just been working all the time, and now right now I am currently podcasting while laying down. So
A
that's
real
the
Uncle
vibe.
Kiwi, which we, we
Yes,
we respect you in the podcast business, taking care of your physical health while entertaining the viewers. How kind of you.
I know. I'm doing the Lord's work.
I feel like you might deserve an MVP just for that in one of these episodes.
I agree. In fact, I think I got one. I think I gave myself an MVP award
Yeah,
last
no,
year.
was the last time you did a podcast before I went to Will and Julia's wedding? Because I remember listening to that on the drive to Will and Julia's wedding. Let me look it up.
I think
Uh,
so. Yeah.
what you doing podcast? Um, by the way, Navi, did you see that our boy Chappelle has a new project he's working on?
Yeah, I saw the TikTok.
Yes, I'm very excited. Maybe he'll talk more about anime. He said he wants to get in on the anime, um, and I feel like you would appreciate that.
I would appreciate that. I that would be top of my feed if he did that.
All right, so I think the last one you were here for was October 25th is when it was released. Belly of the Beast slash Moon Farm.
That sounds
Um,
right.
the one that you discussed, Marcus Pork.
Mhm.
I guess it's been me and Will for a couple episodes in a row now. Maybe, yeah. Well, Navi, any pop culture that you've been dying to tell us that you've been consuming in the last couple weeks since we didn't get your pop culture plugs?
Well, I've been listening to mostly podcasts, and I've been binging Behind the Bastards, which is a very good podcast.
Is it a Game of Thrones podcast?
No, 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 no. It's about one journalist. He brings on a comedian or another guest, and they just go through like weird things about like the worst people in history. So they went over like Saddam Hussein's like erotica novels, which
Oh
was
my
very
god!
fun. Yeah.
Which Wow, I'm reading this, and it's like the log line is pretty hooking. There's a reason why the History Channel has produced hundreds of documentaries about Hitler, but only a few about Dwight D. Eisenhower. Bad guys and gals are entirely fascinating, and I agree. I do actually think that's a great concept. That's a really good concept, Navi. Give them
Yeah,
their flowers.
it's a good podcast. Give it a listen.
Yeah, no, I definitely am. Because I've been clearing them out at work. I am like starting to approach potential empty podcast queue. So
Mhm.
I might have time to dabble in a couple new podcasts. I'm definitely going to write that one down. And by writing it down, I mean I will be listening to this at work, and I will write it down at that moment.
Yes.
um, but any other things that you definitely want to hit on in the last few months from pop culture? Or is that the big one that you want to talk
That's
about?
probably the big one, yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. Any news items?
I'm trying to watch more movies to fill up my letterboxd.
You
Like
have
I'm
some
trying to
great
watch.
letterbox reviews, if I do say so myself.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to watch all the stuff that was nominated for the Oscars before that ceremony. So that is a work in progress because not a lot of them are out yet.
Yeah. How many have you seen? I think I counted. I think I've seen four.
Of the Best Picture nominees,
Yeah.
I've seen 6 of them.
All right. Which is the number one that I have to watch if I have not seen it yet?
If you have not seen it yet, I would say Poor Things, even though it is kind of weird, but I like it. It's by Yorgos Lanthimos, who did The
Yorgos. Yeah.
Favorite. Yeah. So I would recommend that
I've
one.
heard it's wild. Eh,
It is.
Okay. I mean, I want to watch. I just felt like when I went to Brazil, like everything and its mom dropped on Netflix or on theaters. Like The Color Purple, Wonka came out at that time. Did you put the thumbs up behind me?
No.
Did you just see that on my screen or no?
Yeah, I see it now.
What the? Oh, it's because I had the thumb up. Is that why?
Oh.
That's so weird. Oh, Sorry, this is not a video podcast, I don't believe. Maybe I'll throw it up on the YouTube, if that's cool with you, Navi.
Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, here's my Oscar rankings for the 24 of the ones that I've seen. So number 1 is Poor Things. Number 2 is Barbie, even with the terrible car commercials just halfway through the movie. And
Yeah.
also that very like cheesy monologue that towards the end. I don't know if this is not a hot take. I've seen people on Twitter being like, America Ferrera should have gotten an Oscar nod. What do you think about that?
Hmm. I think
Have you
she
seen
deserves the
Barbie?
Oscar nom. I have seen Barbie, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I was very depressed when I watched Barbie, so I don't think I loved it as much as I could have.
Hmm.
But I thought America Ferrera was freaking phenomenal with her. Like, let's be transparent. Like, the big moment for her was the speech.
Yeah.
I think she was phenomenal. I think the fact that she went like hours doing that over and over and over again, and like I feel like just like the small little nuances were really great. And I'm just like judging on that scene alone. I think she's worthy of it. I will say, I haven't seen all the movies that everyone's nominated. I do want to watch The Holdovers. That's I feel like is very much up my alley, from what I understand.
Ooh. I think you would like it.
Yeah,
I did not.
that's very valid. I feel like exactly. I feel like based on what I understand, I feel like I would really like this movie. But maybe I didn't know much about it, but I will definitely watch it, and I feel like I can figure out why it's not a Navi movie.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
do think Viola Davis was snubbed for Air.
Viola Davis. Yeah, I think so too. Well, Viola Davis is great in everything. So every
Viola
time she
Davis is
has a
mother.
project coming out, I always feel like she's snubbed, you
I
know?
did want to ask while we're on the topic of movies, have you seen Saltburn?
Oh my God. Yes, I have.
Did you like it or did you hate it?
Well, I wasn't a fan of Emerald Fennell's first movie, Promising Young Woman, which a lot of people liked. And then I watched this, and yeah, it's better shot, and I like the performances in it, but like I don't know, it just did not work for me
I
personally.
heard
Even
it's
with
so
his,
freaking weird.
it is weird. You see Barry Keegan's dingling.
I heard he does hang dong in this film.
Yeah, it's if you appreciate that, then you would like it. In terms of the actual story, like it just does not
He
work.
also has something with a bathtub, right?
Oh yeah, the cum slurp.
Maybe I won't put this episode on YouTube if this is the first Phineas and Ferb podcast kids are gonna get. Well, um, is there a better transition than that to talk about Phineas and Ferb?
Wait, let me just go through the other four. So number 3
Okay,
is Oppenheimer. I felt like I had to keep the Barbenheimers together, like they're
it would only
married.
be fair of you.
Yeah, and then number 4 is Killers of the Flower Moon. It was good.
I
I know
refuse
a
to
lot of
watch that in theaters, but I do want to watch it on in pieces.
yeah, like it's very good. I don't think this is Scorsese's best though, and I do think there are some pacing issues. I feel like it could be shorter. And number 5 is The Holdovers. I did not like this movie,
Okay.
but Paul Giamatti is good in it. Same with
Is Divine
Divine
Joy
Joy Randolph.
Randolph really good in it
Yeah, I
too?
hope she gets the Oscar for that. I think
I think
she
she's the
was
front
very good.
runner from everything I've
Yeah.
read.
Hmm. Yeah, because who else is nominated? Like, Emily Blunt is in it, and
Yeah,
I
I
thought
thought she was great in Oppenheimer, but
she was fine. Um,
she was very a one-dimensionally written character, so it's not like she had a
yeah,
lot to do. But what she was given, she was really good, except for this. Something in the sound mixing was off, where I could barely hear what she was saying over some of the sound
yeah, but
effects.
that's like a issue with all of Christopher Nolan's movies is the
Very,
sound mixing.
very valid.
Yeah, and then number 6 is Maestro. I fucking hated that movie. It was so boring. He
Is it long?
want It's long, and you can tell like Bradley Cooper wants an Oscar so bad.
Yeah, I feel like he had a really good chance with A Star Is Born, but I forget who he lost to. Like that was probably his best chance. Oh wait, no, he was nominated for Silver Linings Playbook, right?
Yeah, he was nominated for that.
Okay, he was really good in that role as someone with OCD. I feel like he didn't
Hmm.
like traumatize me.
Yeah, I would agree. I like Silver Linings Playbook. It's probably the best David O. Russell movie. But
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, we
uh,
can talk about Phineas and
we're
Ferb
good.
now. That's
We're
like
good.
the main point.
Yeah. All right. So Phineas and Ferb. Um. So this first episode is going to be Phineas and Ferb Interrupted.
Hmm.
Basically, Candace wants Linda to spend the day with her since she's off from work or whatever that day, and she's like, "Okay, let's just watch Phineas and Ferb in the backyard." However, of course, this is the one day that Doofenshmirtz, his dull and boringinator, zapped them, so they are so freaking dull and boring. This means that they are very dull, and we spend a lot of the time of the episode with Agent P, who goes and rewinds the clock and finds out what happened, and then he's trying to fix it to fix Phineas and Ferb, and Doofenshmirtz wants him to be hit with the reverse of it so that he can be the most interesting person and everyone else is dumb and dull. So, Navi, overall thoughts. Did you remember this episode? Did you enjoy this episode?
Well, my big takeaway was that I do kind of feel bad for Linda because she just wants to hang out with her daughter. Like, it's been a while, and all she wants to do is like tattle on her brothers, which is kind of. I would be annoyed if I were Linda.
Yeah. No, I agree. And she just wants to like lounge. And then she's like, literally, we're going to watch these two kids today. Like, why can't we go to the movies? Why can't we go to the spa? Are you a mother daughter spa day girly?
I'm admittedly not a big spa person.
That's very valid.
Yeah.
Is there like something you do with your mom that's like mother daughter time?
I think it's mostly honestly like doing chores. Like she loves like doing stuff like especially like outside with like the car or whatever, so we'll just do
Yeah.
that.
That's valid. I'm trying to think, do I do anything specific with my mom? Um, I think my mom, if I'm ever by myself with her, will like go to a pool or to a beach. She likes that kind of stuff.
Uh, uh,
So that's, I guess, something I do with my mom. Will, sound out something specific you do with your mom. And listeners too, reach out. Navi, do you think we still have lost Giovanni as a listener?
I mean, we haven't gotten an email from him, have we?
Yeah, Giovanni, let us know if you're still out there. I'm worried about him. I do know he got an episode on Renap, and I was very excited for our boy. I
Mhm.
don't know what it was, but he told me that, and I was like, "Pop off, King."
Yeah. Hope
Um,
you're living your best life.
yeah, Giovanni, if you out there, reach out. I tell you about the stand-up show that I went to the other day, and how there was a listener of my podcast out in the wild.
Really?
Yes, so I get up there and I go to Third Wheel Comedy, and I remember now getting tweets from Quay. But a couple months ago, I might have sent this to you and Will. I was like, someone just tweeted at me that they missed my Scooby Doo podcast. I have a real fan out there
Mhm.
tweeting about the Scooby Doo cinematic universe. And then I forgot about that. And then I show up at this thing, and it's the QT mic, Third Wheel on Wednesdays, everyone, if you're in the LA area, but it's a queer mic. So I go and then I do my set, and in it I was like, yeah, I'll plug my podcast because I'm working out this set for this show that I'm in called Goats in Love, Goats LA, sorry, Goat Show LA, Aliens in Love, and it's probably already happened by the time that this episode is released. But I do my alien set, and in the end I'm talking about Scooby Doo Alien Invaders. And then the next music is one of the Scooby Doo soundtrack songs, and then she's like goes on for a full minute about like how she loves the Brazilian dragon, how she's a Scooby Snacks and Chats girly. She tells everyone to go listen to it. I was like, Quay, and then I gave her my number, and she also called me quote her celebrity crush.
Wow, look at you.
So I got her number. I slid her those digits, and I hope to hang out with her. And if she's listening to this, hi Quay.
Hi, Quay.
So she knows who you are then, because she probably listened to Scooby Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, and knew about our normalizing mommy campaign.
Yeah. I hope she's anti-normalized mommy.
Weren't you the one who said normalize mommy?
No, I'm anti.
Okay.
Abnormalize it, please.
So who was normalizing it? Was it Will or was it Jacob?
Literally everyone else on the
I
podcast.
was not normalizing mommy. I was normalizing Bunny on that one. Scooby Doo and the bunny drawing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll abnormalize that too then.
Anyways, Navi, so what else did you have in mind for this episode? Like, how'd you, anything of note? Was this better than reading? I'm sure we'll talk about this, but this is a thought that popped into my head when I was watching.
I mean, if I was brainwashed into just sitting around and watching grass grow, then that would be fine. But if it was not brainwashed and I was just forced to sit around and watch grass grow, I would want to commit seppuku. Like I
We don't want that.
no, because I can only stay with my own thoughts for so long. You know what I mean?
Girl, same. Yeah, it'd be struggling out here sometimes with the ADHD. Um,
I need to be stimulated externally. That's not how I wanted to say that. But you know what I mean? I need to interact with the I need to be tactile with the world, you know?
yeah. Um, what if we had "What You Doing" out of context? Would they clip that?
Honestly, with some of the stuff I've said, especially the past few months where I just kind of stopped caring about everything, no, I would not be surprised.
Very valid, very valid. All right. Any other thoughts about the Phineas and Ferb episode? Like, what did you think of the Doofenshmirtz plot?
I actually really liked it. I like that it was more so because I feel like often with the Doof and Perry thing, it's usually Doof that's kind of in the limelight, you know?
Hmm.
And this one felt a bit more equal in terms of that. Like it's still mostly Doof, but we did get a bit more Perry and him trying to save his owners.
Hmm.
So I appreciated that. Like you saw more of the dynamic or more of a connection between the Doof and Perry and the Phineas and Ferb plot beyond the whatever invention that he has
Yeah.
destroying whatever the boys were working on. So
Did you like the mechanism where Carl had to show him the footage from Doofenshmirtz's home?
that was my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, and I like how they really like swung with like the timeline story structure, and
Yeah,
I
we
really
got to
like this
see
episode.
Doof's dad bod.
Yeah, I mean Heinz can get it, honestly.
Will, do you agree?
um, anyways, I sorry, we get Perry going back to fix it, and I did laugh at when Doofenshmirtz was like, "Oh, that's very smart. You're gonna make me even more awesome, so everyone around me is very dull and boring." Um, it was like he wanted to turn into Tyson.
Yeah, and I am a big Tyson girly, so I appreciated that from him.
Yeah. Did you do you listen to his podcast too, or for
Honestly,
Survivor?
he like I always put whenever Survivor season's on, he is his podcast on The Ringer is the first one I listen to, even before RHAP, if
He
I'm
has a
being so
co-host that
blunt.
people are like lukewarm on, right?
Yeah, it's usually the co-host because Tyson's like very like just like yeah, I guess this happened.
Yeah.
He's like very like dry sense of humor, which is very funny, and he's obviously like kind of like effing with the audience at points. It's very good.
Yeah. No. Did he have any really interesting guests, or I feel like it was like the whole cast of 42, besides the one I actually care about.
Basically, yeah, it was that.
Um, yeah.
But it
Uh,
was good because it was Tyson. So,
yeah. Tyson is great. He was. I wish I had actually gotten to talk to him in Brea, but he just kind of sat at a table with Danny, like a mafia boss, and like
oh
had people like come to him there.
wow,
And I was like, that's badass. But then I was like too intimidated. Like
aw,
Tyson is one of my all-time favorites.
hmm
I think Tyson is a very underrated like player and like
yeah,
winner. I feel
me
like people
too.
don't talk about him in the top five, which he should be for that game.
Yeah, like his win was so
I
dominant.
think his win was more impressive than either of Tony's. Don't at
I
me.
agree.
Jeremy also. I feel the same way about Jeremy. I think Jeremy
I
is
think
like
Jeremy is also very underrated as a player. I
same.
just don't like first off, I just never see him getting voted out pre-jury
Yeah.
ever.
He's
So,
just so fucking likable.
yeah. The one clip or one moment that I always loved and have loved since the episode aired. This has been making the circles around Twitter, but I was there day one when he was like, yeah, and he said racist. He was talking about John
Oh
Rocker and
yeah.
like his
My
past. And
favorite
he was
is
like, he said racist and homosexual stuff.
the
And when you're like, you hear racist, you're like, oh no. But then you hear the homosexual, you're like, oh, go on.
No, I remember watching it like and I was like, wait, I think he meant homo phobic. And another one that I was there day one because I was like in the San Juan del Sur podcast streets, Navi. I
Me
was
too.
down bad for I'm a meat collector. And then Michael
Me
Snow came on the podcast and said, I'm a meat collector. Like but Surround and Drown, we don't talk about that enough these days.
I know. It's so
Like
good. San Juan del
Cinema.
Sur was so good.
San Juan del Sur is a top 5 season. Don't at me.
Yeah. 2014 Survivor popped off, man.
We really ate that year. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, Blood versus Water to San Juan del Sur, like, what a peak. And also, like, I remember the Worlds Apart pre-merge very fondly because I
Mhm.
was doing, like, my college visits on the West Coast, and my mom and I road tripped around California. So I listened to a lot of, like, Worlds Apart content in the pre-merge, like, specifically, like, when
It
Josh
was so
Wigler.
goofy.
It's so goofy. Honestly, like, the pre-merge of Worlds Apart, if we don't talk about the second half, it's very fun.
Yeah, it is so good.
Um,
I get why it has so many entries on the Funny 115.
Yeah. I also think that we don't talk about Haley Ford enough in society anymore.
She is very funny. Like she's very like underrated, like funny contestant
I
on the
would be
show.
here for a Haley Ford 3.
Me too, to be
Put her on
honest.
Survivor 50.
I loved when she was on Game Changers because she was like, "Okay, I guess I'm here now."
I thought she should have been there regardless, but I like how she like was also like aware that she was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Um, but I remember like the I didn't consent meme was popping up everywhere
Mhm.
after she said that, like at the Double Tribal Council, and she's like, I didn't consent, and like her mouth is right here.
Mhm.
What a queen. Um, yeah,
Anything
I
else about the episode that we want to talk about?
I mean, we went on a Survivor tangent, so I think that's time that we cut it for that episode. What
Okay.
did you think of the song quickly before we do transition to the next episode?
Um, it was fine.
I really like the songs in both episodes. I feel like you probably like the second song more.
Yeah, I did prefer the second song more. This
Yeah.
one's just kind of spoiler alert, this one does not make the playlist. But the
Oh,
next
it
one
does
would.
for me.
Mhm.
I liked both.
Mhm.
But again, I had already taken my melatonin for the night. A real melatonin, not a chapelatonin. But
Mhm.
I could understand if you. Uh,
What's in a chapelatonin?
have you seen a Medea Homecoming?
I have not.
Okay.
But I listened to the podcast, and that podcast was insane.
It was so good. Top 5 podcast I've ever listened to. But it's one of the chocolates that Medea likes to partake in.
Ah, okay. See, that wasn't even like the in the top 20 of the craziest things
You
that
didn't.
happened in that movie.
No, yeah. When she rides on a bike, when she's a
Mhm.
doorbell on a bike with
Mhm.
no saddle. What was the quote? I don't
Something
remember.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Anyways,
was years ago, and by years I mean like last year.
no, it was 2 years ago. I'll give
2
you
years
that.
ago. Okay. What is time even?
I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about a real boy. So Hines thinks that Vanessa is overhearing him on Zoom when he's talking to Rodney. And what was his son's name? Orville?
Something like
Oliver?
that.
Yeah, but he then so Vanessa has next to him, and Doof is on Zoom or Skype, and Ronnie says that boys are better, basically. And
Mhm.
then he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't rather have a son," but he's talking, and he thinks Vanessa overhears her. Meanwhile, Norm wants to be a real boy with Doofenshmirtz, and he wants to play the son role. At the Flynn Fetcher household, Candace has Stacy hypnotize her into ignoring the need to bust her brothers so that she can spend the entire afternoon relaxing with Jeremy. And so, like, if she says something, it's don't bust them. And then if she hears leaping lizard, then she wants to bust them.
Ah.
What'd you think of this episode, Navi?
I liked it. I didn't look whenever there's like oh you misheard the phone call and oh no you heard the wrong thing and now you're mad at me like that's kind of like whatever. But the thing is, I like both Vanessa and Doof, and seeing them sort of enact this trope was very fun and interesting. I thought.
I agree with you there. I think it was very fun. It was very
Mhm.
quirky. And what did you think of the Norm part of the episode?
Aw, I love Norm just wants to be acknowledged, man.
Relatable King.
I know.
Um, and then my favorite in this episode, spoiler alert for my point, is going to be Mr. Major Monogram. I thought he was very funny in this episode.
He was firing on all cylinders.
Like they executed him perfectly. I don't even remember what he did or said. I just remember really appreciating that performance in that episode.
Hmm.
Um, was this the episode that they had like the leaping lizard, like sing along salamander, like they kept doing that?
Yeah, this was this episode. It was not. the previous one.
Okay.
So,
I was trying to think what was the thing that she had to hear to like not want to bust them? I'm
um,
looking it up here in the
like what
plot.
the trigger word or whatever
Yeah, the
the
trigger word.
yeah
Holy guacamole, that's what it is.
yeah.
And then it made me want guacamole.
Me too. I just ran out of guacamole. I'm sad.
Do you make your own guacamole or do you buy it from the store?
No, Costco usually has
Oh,
it
the
on
little
sale. So
tins?
yeah.
Yeah. Um
Because then
uh
if you get like the giant thing and you keep it, it turns brown, which is not
yeah.
nice.
What's your favorite thing to eat guacamole with?
I usually like put it on my bread and then I put a sunny side egg on it and then I load it up with hot sauce and pepper and all that stuff.
So
So
a real avocado toast.
yeah. I mainly just don't want to taste the egg, you know.
Valid. Um Anything from this episode that you really want to hit? This one I had fun with. I thought Major Monogram was great.
Hmm.
It's just like
It's just like a solid all around episode. Like I don't know like it's just a good episode. Like it's just one of those things where I don't think there's anything that we can really like dissect or talk about. It's just a good episode,
yeah,
I think.
exactly. It's like
Like I liked it
solid.
more than the episode we talked about before, I think.
I actually don't know. I need to think about this. Maybe because I was more tired for the second episode.
Mm.
Um, yeah. Unrelated to this, before we transition to our spreadsheet stuff, are you watching Australian Survivor?
I have not watched it yet, but I want to start it tomorrow.
Like you haven't seen any of it?
No.
Okay, I am. This is my first season back. It's making me want to go watch international seasons I missed.
Mhm.
But I'm loving it. I'm loving this season. I think Australian Survivor is the best Survivor, and I think it's not because of. I think 45 was great. I just am tired of the small tribes, and I love how you can be more creative in a big tribe. Like I feel like
Mhm.
there's a lot more action that happens episode to episode in a big tribe versus
Yeah.
in these small tribes.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, and it's also like I don't know. I think there's like so many more permutations of things. I just think it's better all around.
Mhm.
Um, anyways, should we go to the spreadsheet stuff?
Sure.
So what do we have to talk about today, Navi?
So like non-spreadsheet related stuff, we already talked about the playlist, so we won't touch on that again.
Oh, do you want some breaking news?
Oh, what
Record
is
of the year.
what?
Do you know who it was?
Who was nominated?
I'll tell you. We got Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius,
Mhm.
Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift,
Mhm.
Flowers by Miley Cyrus, What
Mhm.
Was I Made For, Billie Eilish,
Mhm.
Worship John Batiste, Oh My Mama, Victoria Monet, Vampire
No.
Olivia Rodrigo, and Kill Bill by SZA.
I it I want it to be either Victoria Monet or SZA, but it probably isn't them. It's probably either Taylor or Billie Eilish.
It was actually I Could Buy Myself Flowers.
Okay, Miley. Even though I don't really like that song, I'm glad Miley got it.
Yeah. Um, Victoria Monet, for whatever reason, I thought of Victoria from not Victoria Justice, Tina. Who was her sister? Trina. Trina.
Oh, okay.
I thought for whatever reason her name was who popped up. Trina from Victorious.
Mhm.
Um, is Victoria Monet single?
I don't know, but listen to Jaguar the Second or Jaguar 2, whatever it's called. It's a good album.
Damn it! I think she is taken. She's very hot.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyways, Navi, I interrupted you.
Well, for spreadsheet stuff, like before we get into the actual spreadsheet stuff, we'll just do our little superlatives that we do. So I guess we touched on this, but doing something outdoor, like having been hit by the Dullinator or whatever.
I would rather read.
Yeah, yeah, we all know my answer. Um, would impress his professor. Would do
Oh,
impress his professor this 2 episodes.
I think so. I don't know why not. Maybe not the second episode, but definitely the first. I do want to say I did laugh at the that thing that we has the little suction that pops up, but that
Yeah.
was funny. I was like, what
Uh-huh.
is that thing called?
No, I agree. What other superlatives do we have? It's been a hot minute since I've done this. Um,
Music playlist. I say yes for both. You say only the Norm song.
yeah, Norm Song makes it on. All right, so I guess we'll go into our tiers here for the episodes. So just a refresher, our top tier is Queen of Mars. Second tier would be Yummy Yummy Yummy. Middle of the road is okay. Below average is Satellite Fell to Earth, and then like F tier is Busted.
I
And
can
I'm the only
feel the
person who has any
tension.
episodes in Busted so far, despite not being on as few
Wait, so
episodes.
can you catch us up? What did you put where in the and
Okay.
let me try to log into the Gmail so I can also get a
Yeah,
visual.
it's kind of hard to edit the spreadsheet on my phone. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so for the episodes that I missed, so the Phineas and Ferb birthday cliporama, I put to Satellite Fell to Earth mainly because I'm just not a big clip show guy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that goes there. Ask a foolish question. I put in yummy, yummy, yummy. I put these tiers in as I was watching it, like week to week. So I don't know why I put it in yummy, 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 but I did. Misperceived metronome was also in yummy, yummy, yummy. Where did you guys put fall on these episodes, by the way?
Well, I don't want to be a dummy and ask you for what our password is for the email on air, so I'm text trying to find it in the chat. But if you want to text it to me,
Oh, okay.
I think I remember what it is or some variation. All right, cool. I found it in the chat. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Let me tell you what I thought of it. What was your question so I can vamp
Oh,
for time?
where did you and Will fall on for like the episodes that I was not available for?
um, I it was either really like not a busted, but it was either like an or like, oh, this is like really creative new ground that they're covering. I feel like if it was like kind of a ho hum episode, it was like more of the predictable season 1, 2, and I think we're kind of like oversaturated on that. So like a
Hmm.
lot of our more favorites was the experimental stuff from the last episode, which was like the Chinese dynasty one and the caveman one where they're back in
Hmm.
time. I really
Yeah.
like the Great Indoors, which was like I feel like really revolutionary. I That's why I think I like the first episode because it feels like so different than what we're used to from Phineas and Ferb. But I can't speak for Will. Um, so what do you see from his data?
Let me see. So let me put this back in. So he did. Both of you ended up putting Tri-Stone area in Queen of Mars, and I
Yeah,
also put it in Queen of Mars, mainly because I remember the one caveman episode where Candace dates that caveman guy and takes him to the party, and apparently
yeah.
a lot of people were like it's misogynistic, but
Apparently
I
he's
was
in
like,
it.
yeah, and I was like, no, you just don't understand. I put it in Queen of Mars as well. That should have been. We didn't do these tier lists. We just ranked them one to whatever. I regret not putting it in number one because I thought it was funny to put it in number one. So I'm gonna put this in Queen of Mars, Tri-Stone area. And then you can cut this part out
No, keep
here,
going.
like
I
the part
finally
where I'm
got in.
just
I
saying,
had to text Will because it was like it went to his phone.
yeah, and
Um,
then
all right, I'm popping in. So season 3 tiers.
yeah.
All right. So you put a couple of things in the yummy, yummy, yummy. Any things that you want to add about? Oh wait, no, that's him. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I was like, wait, okay. So you put which one you put in Queen of Mars? I finally got in. You did the
Queen of
Tri-Stone area.
Mars was Tri-Stone area.
Okay. Um, what was the last one you were here for? Moon Farm, right? Where would you put the Cliptastic Cliporama?
Satellite fell to Earth. It's just a clip show, so
All right. Um, What about? Oh, you said satellite fell to Earth. My
Hmm.
bad. And then I'll change the color of that. What about the next one, which is
Ask a foolish question,
ask
or
a foolish question? Yes.
yeah. So ask a foolish question and misperceived metronome are both in yummy, yummy, yummy.
Awesome.
And then Candace disconnected and Magic Carpet Ride are in okay.
So 305 and 3 are yummy, 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 and then I'll change the colors later. And then Candace disconnected, Magic Carpet Ride. Okay. Anything to say about those episodes or not really?
Not really. They were just pretty paint by numbers, I'd say. Paint by numbers Phineas and Ferb episodes,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
All
Um,
right. What about the Bad Hair Day Meatloaf Surprise?
Both of them are in yummy, yummy, yummy. I really like the Meatloaf song. Meatloaf song went hard.
I'm not surprised at all that you like that song. And then what else? Do we have next? We have Tri-Stone Area. We already did Doof Dynasty.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Cool. And then Phineas and Ferb Interrupted. Let's talk about this episode.
Yeah, initially I was gonna put in yummy, yummy, but the more we talked about it, I realized that I'm just kind of okay on it. Like it was fine.
All right. And what about a real boy, Navi?
Real boy goes in yummy, yummy, yummy. I love me a Norm episode.
Awesome. So let me tell you where Will had both Phineas and Ferb Interrupted and a real boy in Yummy Yummy Yummy. And
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna put Phineas and Ferb Interrupted for sure in Yummy Yummy Yummy. But I think I'm gonna put a real boy down in okay. I don't know.
Mm.
I feel like I won't remember it other than it being like a norm centric plot. But I feel like I won't remember much in a few weeks. And I feel sad because I feel like you and Will love this episode and I wish I could love it just as much.
Hmm.
But that's just how the cookie crumbled. And yeah, so Navi, anything else you want to add about this stuff, or should we get to the more interesting segment that we have to talk about today, and that
Yeah,
is
let's get
catching you up on
to
point on the points?
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So just to reset, Navi was last here for the Moon Farm episode and Belly of the Beast, where she gave herself the 2 points because she survived the episode, if I believe that was correct.
Yeah, I
Um,
suffered for all of you.
so Phineas and
All
Ferb
one
birthday
and half of
cliporama.
you or who are listening. Anyway, go on.
304 Phineas's birthday cliporama.
I mean, it was Phineas's birthday. I'll give it to him.
All right. So Phineas, is that his first point for the season? No, I gave him one when he was being very sassy in one episode.
Mm.
But yeah, what about ask a foolish question?
I would give it to the supercomputer.
Supercomputer gets another point. Misperceived metronome.
Irving.
Irving, your boy Irving. I was like, she's
Yes.
gonna give it to Irving. Candace disconnected.
Um, Honestly, I don't know. I'll I'll make it 3 for 3. I'll give Candace the point.
Awesome. All right. What about Magic Carpet Ride?
Um, I guess I'll give it to Candace again.
Okay.
She's the one who stood out to me the most that episode.
Cool. What about Bad Hair Day?
Stacy.
Stacy. Meatloaf surprise.
The guy who sang the Meatloaf song.
Song singer. And Will can fix that later. Tri-Stone area.
Um, the the ex the the caveman that Candace took to the
Season 1
party in season 1.
caveman.
Yeah.
Doof Dynasty.
Doof Dynasty. Um, I do kind of want to give it to Doofus Khan, even though he already has a
Okay.
point. Yeah, give it to Doofus Khan.
All right. And what about Phineas and Ferb Interrupted?
Well, I see that Will gave Linda the point, but I don't know. I feel like she was like the LVP. Like she didn't really get to hang out with Candace the way she wanted to.
Well, luckily you get to say that, and Will doesn't get to dispute it.
True.
We also
Um,
didn't talk about how she was like a disco diva at the end.
True. I'll give this one to Perry.
Great choice, great choice. Yeah, like you said, Will gave it to Linda. I am gonna give it to Isabella. I think Isabella had a good episode. I think she was like very frazzled of like why are they so freaking boring?
Hmm.
And yeah, she gets my point for that. Will gave Vanessa the point for a real boy. What do you feel about his opinion here?
Yeah, I think that's a solid choice. I'm
Um,
gonna give it to Norm.
I felt like I could see that coming, and
Mm.
I shouted him out earlier. I'm gonna give mine to Major Monogram for this episode. I thought he
Mhm.
was great. So is that his first point for the season?
Looks like it.
Oh wow! Norm's first point for the season. We got Isabella with 2 points now. Yeah, so Irving joins you and Baljeet and the
Mhm.
supercomputer and Linda and Phineas and Isabella and Doofus Khan and Perry the Platypus all in the Navi tier for this season.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Ferb still yet to get a point this season. Carl, Susie, Buford, Jenny. Who is Steve? Oh, Steve the Chameleon, Lawrence, and Meep. All regulars that have yet to get a point.
Mhm.
Navi, do you have anything else to add about these episodes?
No, I'm just glad to get back on the wagon or off the wagon. I don't know. This is a
Yeah.
Seinfeld reference, but
Well, we talked about how you wanted to abnormalize mommy, but the next episode we have to discuss is Mommy, Can You Hear Me? Road Trip. So I'm excited about that. What do you think these two episodes are about, Navi?
um I don't know, but I will definitely start the next episode by saying, "Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry."
Silly, silly. Yeah, no, I think Phineas and Ferb are going to go on a road trip. And then do you think Shaka Khan will reappear? In the last World episode they did, they had Shaka Khan and Clay Aiken sing a song.
Yeah, I hope Shaka Khan comes back. But I think she was a one and done, was she not?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Navi, where can the good people of the internet keep up with you?
You can follow me on social media, specifically Letterboxd at Cause I'm Navi, and that's about it.
And what is your pop culture plug for today, Sunday, February 4th?
Um, I'll just plug Behind the Bastards again. It's a good podcast. Give it a listen.
Cool, 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 cool. So you can follow me on all social media with the Fleep. You can also follow the Brazilian Dragon on Instagram to keep up with all my podcasting and comedy stuff. You can also follow me on Letterbox Brazilian Dragon on that to hear my unhinged takes. And in terms of LA stuff, I think this is probably going to be out by then. So if it, for whatever reason, is out before, Goat Showed LA on February 9th. And I'm going to try to post some clips on my Instagram and on my TikTok at the Brazilian Dragon. But yeah, otherwise, I am doing some more Brazilian Dragon content. Matt Scott Media Made Me should be out in your feeds now. I'm very excited about that one. And we're trying to get back on some Scooby Doo podcasting as soon as possible. And with that said, my pop culture plug is going to be Jeanette McCurdy's book, I Wish My Mom Died, or I'm Glad My Mom Died.
Mhm.
I've been reading it lately. I'm getting into reading, Navi. I'm doing my best.
Wow.
And I'm reading her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died. It's very fascinating, very good. And also the aforementioned Australian Survivor. Navi, since we talked about the glory days of San Juan del Sur podcasting, do you want to leave a hashtag in case anyone got to the end of this episode?
Sure. Hashtag racist and homosexual stuff.
Yes. Oh my God. I love it. With all that said, until next time, Mommy, are we there yet? Road trip. Until next time, corn dog, yummy, yummy, yummy.
Bye.